up on NTTV News at noon, the 2 expelled OU students have broken their silence.
And a military helicopter crashed in Florida this morning. We'll have the details in just a few minutes.
NTTV News at noon starts now. Thanks for joining us on NTTV News at noon. I'm Brittany Tamayo.
And I'm Bennett Morris. The 2 students who were expelled from the University of Oklahoma have connections to North Texas. The 2 students, Parker Rice and Levi Pettit, are both from Dallas. With the school's relationship with the fraternity ending, at least one of the students is apologizing now. Andrew Spencer has the story.
Workers removed the Greek letters from the side of the building. The moving vans have left, leaving an empty parking lot and a closed chapter of Sigma Alpha Epsilon at the University of Oklahoma. The school cut ties with the fraternity and with 2 students who appeared to be leading a racist chant over the weekend. One of them, 19-year-old freshman Parker Rice, issued an apology Tuesday night, telling his hometown Dallas Morning News that his involvement was, quote, wrong and reckless. I made a horrible mistake by joining into the singing and encouraging others to do the same. He goes on to say, my goal for the long term is to be a man who has the heart and the courage to reject racism wherever I see or experience it in the future. William James, who believes he was the last African American to be a part of the OU chapter of SAE, says Rice will likely deal with something similar.
He now is going to experience something that very few people he associates with understands, of walking into a room and being prejudged just because of how he looks. He's not going to know who believes him. He's not going to know who. And that's going to be new for him. That's going to be an education.
The parents of another student issued an apology on the newly created website Friends and Family of Levi Pettit. It says in part, quote, while it may be difficult for those who only knew Levi from the video to understand, he is not a racist, calling what he did a horrible mistake. Meanwhile, the frat house's cook, Howard Dixon, is out of a job. But he shouldn't have to worry about money anytime soon. By the time the SAE house had been shut down for good, an online fundraising page had already brought in nearly $60,000 for his benefit. I'm Andrew Spencer reporting.
Dense fog is likely to blame for a military helicopter crashing this morning in Florida. A dense fog advisory was in place for the region, reducing visibility in some areas to less than a quarter of a mile. All 11 military members are presumed dead. They were traveling to the Eglin Air Force Base from North Carolina.
It's really warmed up out there, and it's messing with my allergies a lot.
I know, it's been messing with my allergies too. Hopefully, I can get rid of them soon. Jessica, how's it looking out there?
Well, Brittany, we have some warm weather in the forecast finally. It is a beautiful day outside. It is bright and sunny. It's 61 outside right now, and it is only going to get warmer. Right now, humidity about 98%, partly cloudy, feels like 61, so it's going to be a beautiful day. Coming up, I will have more for you about getting into the 70s later. So, Brittany, Bennett, back to you.
Thanks, Jessica. Less than a week after the jury returned deadlocked in the Jodi Arias trial, new documents have been released about the lone holdout juror. The court revealed this morning that both the prosecution and other jurors were worried about Juror 17's involvement. Donna Rossi has the details.
This just released court document shows that 2 days before the hung jury announcement, 11 jurors raised questions about Juror 17. The first concern was that Juror 17 had watched a Lifetime movie about Arias. Judge Sherry Stevens checked and found the juror had disclosed on her jury questionnaire that she watched the movie Dirty Little Secrets, so the judge determined there was no misconduct. The other concern was that Juror 17 was ineffective in deliberating and was not giving reasons for her views. But after the judge reinforced the jury instructions, the other jurors told the judge things had gotten better. The paperwork also indicates that same day, the state filed a motion to get Juror 17 removed for violating the court's order not to research the case. The state told the judge Juror 17's Facebook page showed she recently viewed the movie The Secret and looked up the law of attraction, which were strong Arias beliefs that became a center point of the trial. Also, that she liked a list of local and national news media sites known to cover the Arias trial. When questioned, Juror 17 told the judge she liked those pages before becoming a juror and that she had done no research related to the case or read or saw anything about it in the media.
The judge is scheduled to sentence Arias on April 13th to either life in prison without parole or the possibility of parole after 25 years. The state of Utah may be the first state to bring back the firing squad as a form of execution. The state Senate approved legislation yesterday. Supporters say that the firing squad is a quick and easy way to kill a prisoner, but one opponent isn't sure.
Yeah, I think it will be bad if Utah is the only state that is actively shooting people. I just think it's a bad precedent, and I think it's a place we shouldn't go.
Under the bill, the firing squad would only be used if the drugs necessary for lethal injection are not available. The firing squad was legal in Utah until 2014. The bill is now being considered by the governor.
3 people are dead after an oil rig they were working on exploded. The explosion happened yesterday morning at a rig in Upton County near Odessa. Officials say 4 men were working on a unit when the explosion occurred. 3 of them died, and the condition of the 4th man is unknown. Investigators are looking into what caused the explosion.
Coming up after the break, the grand jury has come back in the Christina Morris case. Find out what was said that has raised the hopes of her family.
And could marijuana become legal in Texas? NTTV's Whitley Pleasant has a story in just a few moments.
We'll be right back.
For an incredible experience, meet a shelter pet and adopt. They make super pets who will enrich your life and steal your heart. Adopt and bring home a shelter pet today. To find out more, visit theshelterpetproject.org.
The suspected kidnapper of Christina Morris has been indicted. A Collin County grand jury came back yesterday stating that Enrique Orochi acted with the intent to violate or abuse sexually Christina Morris. Morris's family said that they hope Orochi will do the right thing and end the pain and suffering he not only put on his family, but us. Orochi denied the allegations and will be entering a not guilty plea in the trial, according to a statement released by his attorney.
Eddie Ray Routh has been transferred to a correctional psychiatric facility near Houston, according to the Texas Department of Criminal Justice. Last month, jurors rejected Routh's insanity defense and was sentenced to life without parole for killing former Navy SEAL Chris Kyle and his friend Chad Littlefield in 2013. The former Marine went through a psychological screening earlier this month to determine where he would begin serving for sentence for shooting Kyle and Littlefield. Routh's attorney has filed a motion for a new trial.
A new Texas bill to decriminalize marijuana may come sooner than expected. Potential Republican candidate Rand Paul is supporting legal medicinal use. On the other hand, Texas Republican Representative David Simpson's bill pushes to fully legalize marijuana, whether for recreational or medical purposes. NTTV's Whitley Pleasant has more on what this means for Texas.
Marijuana, cannabis, weed, or whatever you prefer to call it, legalizing or decriminalizing it is a growing trend that the U.S. has been seeing in the past decade.
Because Republicans do tend to side with law and order policies as well, but at least this element of conservative Republicans in Texas think that marijuana is not a sufficient danger to override what they believe is a freedom that Texans should enjoy.
States from each coast are exploring the idea of decriminalizing marijuana or even legalizing it altogether.
The difference between decriminalization and legalization is going to vary by the policy in place, but generally the way I look at the difference is decriminalization is saying we're not going to regulate it, right? You can have this and you can get it, but we're not going to charge you with that. Legalization, as we see examples in Colorado and the state of Washington, there's more of an effort to involve government in regulating it.
There are currently 10 bills in Austin, Texas, all regarding marijuana reform, and now 23 states have already legalized medicinal and or recreational use. Some lawmakers want to make Texas the 24th state.
It's difficult. I think it's going to be a long, slow process. But ultimately, I think that you have to generate a broad piece of legislation that's going to generate support from a wide range of politicians in order for it to go forward.
I'm Whitley Pleasant for NTTV News.
So spring break is coming up next week, and I have some awesome plans planned with my family. What about you?
Well, I'm going to be working over the break, but I'd still like to see some nice weather, you know? What's it going to be like, Jessica?
Well, Brittany, Bennett, we're going to have some beautiful weather, and we have some beautiful weather all around the area today. If we want to take a quick look, it is 61 in Denton, 61 in Wichita Falls, and 62 in Fort Worth, and 60 in McKinney. All around, it's going to be a beautiful day, and that is leading into a beautiful week. Let's take a quick look at our 5-day. Today, we have a high of 70 with a low of 49. Partly cloudy outside today, but the sun is coming out. Tomorrow, we have a high of 69 with a low of 50, and Friday and Saturday, we have a high of 70 degrees with a low of around 50 degrees, so beautiful weekend coming up. On Sunday, the sun is coming out fully, and it's going to be 68 outside. So we're going to have a beautiful weekend leading into spring break, so Brittany, Bennett, you will be able to enjoy it. Back to you.
Thanks, Jessica. Nowadays, it's almost as common as a television. According to a new Nielsen report, streaming services like Netflix and Amazon are growing in popularity. 4 out of 10 households with traditional televisions have an online streaming account. The study found that mostly young and middle-aged households are the most likely to log on and watch programming. Top Gear host Jeremy Clarkson is out, at least temporarily. The popular host has been suspended due to a fight with one of the show's producers. Clarkson is the most well-known of the 3 hosts of the program and is no stranger to controversy. Last year, Clarkson apologized after using racist language during a filming of the show. A former director of the BBC television says Top Gear without Clarkson would be like a loss in The Three Musketeers. The broadcaster of the popular British car show has suspended the 3 remaining episodes.
Coming up after the break, getting mugged live on air, we've got the story.
Stay with us.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Kids will spend 8 minutes decorating their little brother.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
Being a dad can be tough.
When's the fairy princess coming?
Any minute now. But it's always worth it.
I know it's really you, Brew. I'm just pretending for the other kids.
Take time to be a dad today. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov.
UNT reaches an important milestone this year. This year, UNT is celebrating its 125th anniversary.
And it's planning a large celebration. Beginning with this year's spring commencement, UNT will begin its celebration. The first large event will be on September 16th as the university celebrates Founders Day.
More events are still being planned in NTTV. We'll keep you up to date on all the events that will happen.
It's one of a reporter's biggest nightmares, getting mugged live on camera.
And a burning yacht rescue. These and more in today's Take a Look at This. Here's Jeremy Rolfe.
Muggings happen every day, but usually not on live TV. This South African reporter was waiting to go live when 2 men showed up, reportedly with a gun, and allegedly robbed them. The camera kept rolling as the reporter let everyone know what was going on.
Hey, we're being mugged. We're being mugged.
Despite having their faces broadcast clearly on TV, police haven't caught the thieves. Waiting for your flight to take off can be a drag, but not when this flight attendant's on board. She busts a move to the hit Uptown Funk while waiting for passengers to finish boarding. Luckily, one of them captured her on video. Get it, girl! And a passenger on a burning yacht caught this dramatic rescue in San Francisco Bay. A pair of nearby fishermen first noticed the smoke.
We thought it was a barbecue, so we didn't think anything of it. And a few minutes later, we're out by the Golden Gate Bridge. We hear the distress call, Mayday, Mayday.
They sped to the burning boat, got all 7 people off, and no one was hurt. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
Thanks for watching NTTV News at noon.
Join us again tomorrow here on North Texas Television.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.